care about giving up information about Xenolifer. But as soon as that lunatic knows everything he wants, we're dead. Yeah, sounds like a solid plan. Shut up and get some rest. The worst is yet to come. So overnight, these two guys are going to heal, and you'll notice that they're sitting a bit more upright. That basically gives you the quota of damage that you can take for that day. But with each day, there is something new. So, you know something I envy from free guys like you? Not having to wear the same clothes every day? And coffee. For the Emperor's sake, how I fucking miss coffee. It was prohibited 7 years ago because our beloved Emperor thought that coffee encourages rebel thinking. Sometimes I wish the Emperor was just down here with us, just so I could show him the many ways that I disagree with him. Alexander, forget what you just heard. But the thing is, rebel activity actually diminished. But so did our R&D departments. I don't know why you were interested in the research of some coffeeless scientists. Well, I should confess something to you then, Irving. We weren't there for the coffee. No shit. In a forest? In an abandoned prison? Come on, tell me where you're all hiding. So I saved up the lie so I can start this turn, because the hammers are definitely going to be much more damaging. We hide in a deep cave located on the planet of Ciencios. It's a hostile environment, keeps us safe from most governments. Makes sense, doesn't it? I don't know. Next question. What do you plan to do with the intel you stole from our database? So at this point here, a 10% lie is just not going to work. So in this case, I'm going to think both heroes are going to take some damage, but the idea here is I want to try and work myself up to 100% lie for when I need it. So again, I'll think. So things are kind of bleak right now. Both of these guys are relatively weak. I can't quite use the same strategy as alternating the damage that they're taking. So I'm going to try something here, which is beg. Now, this can go one of three ways. They can be absolutely heartless, and they will just punish you for begging. They can say it doesn't work, at which point you get kind of a second try to do something different. Or they will give you a break. So my hope here is I get a break so these guys can heal up a little bit. The reason I'm doing it right now is if these guys are close to death and I fail a beg, then the mission is over. So at this point here, I'm giving myself a one-turn grace, hoping that this one works. Yeah, so in this case, it was that won't work now answer. So I'm going to try beg again. Okay, there we go, so it worked. So here I'm going to think. And again, I'm going to get really low on health again. I think I'm going to try one more beg. Oh, great, okay. So not only did I regain the health, but it's the end of the day. So I've saved another lie that I can use later. Are you alright, Bird? Don't worry about me, save your strength. How do you always stay so cool? It's like you were born to survive. Are you trying to mend my wounds with sweet talk, Jack? I'm not the only one who's got this far. Consider yourself a true survivor too, Corporal. Huh, now that's a good pep talk. Shut up and rest. So the idea again, the gist of this particular conversation is Liam, the hacker from the original sequence, and basically the head of the Xenolifer agency, has come in to save you. But effectively, he said, like, he basically says that he can't break you out on his own, and that you are going to need to hold out for 20 days for his plan to come through. I need you to endure 20 more days of torture. What? You know, clever plans usually aren't the quickest. That's why I'm here to help you in that matter. So the idea here is that this guy is going to come at the end of every night to give you something, basically. You are given the option of healing, which will completely restore your health. You've got painkillers, which will allow you to resist more torture, but will keep you, like, you won't heal as much overnight. Or you can get information, which basically gives you a 100% lie once. So in this case, I suspect... So the thing is that the painkillers are not going to be coming for the oncoming day's torture. It's going to be coming for the day after next. So my assumption here is that's probably going to be the most intense one. So in this case here, I'm going to use painkillers. If I'm right, then I'll be able to endure the intense torture. If I'm wrong, then, you know, it's a wasted opportunity. There's one which is basically an insta-kill, which I'm hoping I don't run into. But we'll see how it goes. So in this case, I'm going to choose painkillers and just hope that my assumption is correct. You may be thinking, how does somebody end up being a torturer? I don't like that question. It implies being a torturer is bad. But you know what? Torture is an art. I descend from a proud legacy of professional torturers. Torture is not plain violence. Sometimes it isn't even violent at all. Animals don't practice torture. Torture was a craft invented by man. A craft honed to perfection by countless guys like you and me. Torture is an intimate matter between two people. There's always a profound bond between the torturer and their victim. Because you know, I'll be the last friend you have in this life. So I recommend that you enjoy the ride. What do you plan to do with the intel you stole from our database? So this is why I was saving a lie. Wanted to fund our calls by selling classified information. Makes sense, doesn't it? I don't know, next question. Who are you? So, these pliers are for something very unpleasant. I could choose to confess, but that's giving him a piece of information, which is going to mean that out of these 20 days of torture that I need to endure, I only have 2 more opportunities to confess. There is worse coming. So in this case, the best I can do is just endure and build myself up to the next lie and just hope that a beg or something like that will get me through. So, I think. I think I will do one more think and follow up with a beg and just hope they don't go for the sadistic option. Yeah, they're gonna kill Burden if they go for the sadist option. Oh, thank God. I think I need a second beg, to be honest. Oh no. That's the answer I wasn't looking for. So I mean, at this point I need to confess or hope I can get a beg back. Alright, we made it. Oh yeah, so don't we get a prize for lasting another day? Of course. What do you want? The torture wall or the axe? Forget it. Gallows humor. I think Alexander has muscles in places that shouldn't exist on a human being. I'm starting to like my chair. I wonder what that brute's face looks like. Maybe he's a cutie under the hood. Oh, that would be even scarier. Liam comes, and I'd asked for painkillers, so the assumption is that what's coming tomorrow is worse. The problem is that I've got really low health right now, so I don't have a whole lot that I can work with. So 19 days. I need to think about this. I'm gonna go for information. So far as I can tell, the tortures are randomized, but the painkillers are definitely going to pay off for this one. Did you know that Alexander loves hamsters? How sweet. He has an entire collection of legless, eyeless, toothless, hairless, brainless hamsters. Not all at the same time, I mean. Each one is customized with delicacy. Actually, I kind of introduced him to the hobby. I remember as a kid, a hamster was one of the best gifts no one ever gave to me. It really brought out my passion for torturing at an early age. I'll never forget Harry Mr. Dimitri. What a lovely set of screams he had. And you? When are you going to scream? This isn't going to be easy, Irving. I think when we have the strength of at least 10,000 hamsters. Who are you? So in this case, I'm going to use them, I think. I'm going to risk a 92% lie because I know... Okay, you know, that's a pain that he's still got that in his face. Okay, so I'm going to provoke him. At this point, I'm just trying to draw out the time because this thing really hurts. Now, if I can successfully beg, it means that they're going to drop one of the items. Nope. Oh, I just lost audio. That sucks. I think that's the same problem I had earlier tonight too. I'm just going to try something really quick. Alright, that should fix it. Okay, so there's an achievement for preventing burden from getting burned, which I've just failed, but in this case it's that's one of the better rounds of the burning that I've had. Why do we choose this life of suffering? Can't we just live on a farm with warm sunsets and cool evenings? We'd harvest crops and be away from all of this. We can. Well, we should. But I'll tell you something. I'm sure that even if we survive this, you go back into the action. And the fool that I am, I'd follow you. Can't be helped, Jack. We don't know shit about raising crops. And Liam comes with the information, which is why I wasn't trying to think during that last round. Sorry for the delay. Are you okay? As long as you don't get caught, we might stand a chance. Nice, they won't catch me, I promise. What should I bring tomorrow? Let's do painkillers again. Okay, this is not bad because I found out the hard way that this one basically only has two pulls. Try provoke here. Okay, so I can't afford to have another one of those. So the problem I have here is that Jack's at pretty low health, and I asked for painkillers, and that means there's a Russian roulette one, which is probably coming up next. Information would have been really helpful for that. So I'm fairly certain Russian roulette is tomorrow, so that will mean that we're back to regular torture after, so that will be painkillers. Actually, that was just a clue that they said it's a pattern, so... Raise your hands if you want to be free. Untie me and I'll raise my teeth up to your brain. Okay. Yeah. Seven-barreled lucky revolver. I'm assuming that's because 1 and 6 will kill you in this game. Okay, so I'm at a 36% lie. The thing that sucks about this one is that it will absolutely do the probabilities of your action, which means that it's entirely possible the first time this guy pulls the trigger, you die. I have absolutely no options at this point because a 36% lie isn't going to get me anywhere, so I'm going to think and just hope that the first bullet doesn't do anything. I always get a little nervous when I do this one. Okay, so I'm gonna risk it. I'm not comfortable doing anything less than 1 out of 6. So I'm gonna think one more time, lie, and if I need another one, I'll just confess. Jesus. Okay. man, 88%. I hope this works. Who's your boss? I can't afford, like, this is otherwise gone. Okay, I just gotta confess it. Oh no. I wonder if Jack can provoke. Jesus Christ! I can't believe this thing goes so long. I gotta think, I can't give away any more information. Yeah. That's it. Okay. So, I am going to do a poll because I do see that there are some strangers here, but I have now had um, basically two messages saying that this game is unpleasant to watch and people are going to take a break. I don't blame them. So, of the people watching, I know lurking is a really big thing on Twitch, and I'd love to give you guys the option. If you'd like me to keep playing Gods Will Be Watching, I'm fine with that because I've actually only got up to the third chapter, and I'd love to finish the game. Um, but I also think the important thing here is that this is a charity stream for the BC Children's Hospital. This is definitely a reward to some people who have donated, and it's an effort to encourage people to do more rewards. So, I mean, a midnight game, an adult game, I'm fine doing. I'm not so much fine turning a charity event into something that people are uncomfortable with. So, with that in mind, I'm going to say if you would like me to keep playing Gods Will Be Watching, please let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm going to switch this into something different, and I can maybe save Gods Will Be Watching into a different stream because I love this game. I think it's great, but I also, I mean, I feel a responsibility to the charity to do something a little bit more comfortable. Okay, I know there's a delay in the streaming time, but at this point, I think I'm going to call it for Gods Will Be Watching. I will say I do a regular stream as well, so if this is something you'd like to see more of, do feel free to send me a message. I'll probably put it into my regular rotation at some point. But in this case, I sort of fulfilled my obligation to show somebody what it was like. Again, I think this is a pretty incredible game, but I'm not comfortable making people feel bad during a charity stream. So, if you'll excuse me for a minute, I think this is actually a good time for me to take my. I'm a little bit late actually on my 1 hour break, so I'm just going to put that up and we will. How do I distinguish this? Let's change the color. Um, we'll be back to play something maybe a little lighter. It's tacky. There we go. All right, again, thank you everyone for watching. Again, as a reminder that this is part of the Extra Life 24-hour gaming marathon. We're getting close to the end. It's 1:30 Pacific time here. The stream started at about 8:30 yesterday morning, which means that we're basically 7 hours left. So I'm going to take about 3 minutes to just get up, stretch. I encourage you guys to do the same, and we'll come back with something a little bit more upbeat. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll put on some music while I'm away. Sorry, I gotta find something upbeat. I've got all really, really sad music. Where is this? Sorry, my iTunes isn't working out. Here we go. Let's try this. All right, back in a few minutes, guys. All right, thank you everyone for sitting through that break. Let's see what's in the library. I had a request for something like Age of Empires, but I'm not quite sure what I have that fits that description, to be honest. I mean, I have StarCraft, but I don't know how that runs on the stream. I don't know if I can do a windowed mode of that. I had a couple that I wanted to put on the stream, but they're actually really violent, so I want to do something different. Let's do Trine. So it's not Age of Empires, but it's nice and lighthearted. Okay. So I just got to set up the streaming settings for this. Looks like I don't have video settings inside the game, so let's just try that again. There we go. Okay. Let me just reset the title. So this game, Trine, is actually, it's intended to be played with more than one person. Sadly, I don't have a comrade to join me on this one, so I'll kind of be taking on all three roles. But it's a nice, light-hearted fantasy game, which apparently does not show up in OBS. Come on. There we go. So I've not streamed this one before, so there could be a little difficulty just getting everything set up. We'll do our best though. Let's see, I can't quite remember how this layout works. I'm gonna give this a try right now. And we'll see how it goes. So I've only played a little bit of this on the PC. I actually just specially loaded this on my Mac to... Oh, neat. But the game... It looks like the game carried over. But yeah, so I've only played it a little bit on my PC. In this case, I'm just going to start a fresh game and see how far I get. Let's do medium difficulty.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, a kingdom was prospering. But peace could only last so long. The old king died. With no descendant to the throne, the kingdom fell into chaos. Lust for power blinded warriors and wizards alike. New kings emerged, only to fall the next day. But the madness of men would soon be overshadowed by a far greater evil. The magic that once gave life and good fortune had transformed into something sinister. One by one, grave by grave, the dead began to rise, feeding off the energy that grew stronger with each passing night. Fear spread throughout the kingdom, and it was soon abandoned. But something was about to happen that would change the course of history. On the outskirts of the kingdom, near the Astral Academy, a thief carried out her cunning plan. She had learned of an ancient object of tremendous value. The Astral Academy, left to rot in the face of the terrible enemy, had no one to keep the treasure safe. The time was right. Everything was perfect. She had made her way to the castle and would soon lay her hands on the treasure she so desired.
Oops. Yeah, so I'm gonna need to get a little used to this, these controls. I also think the stream might be causing a little bit of lag in terms of my frame rate. I almost died there.
The gentle moon smiled at the thief as she made her way towards the shrine of ancient treasure. Strangely, the protective charms around the shrine allowed her to enter unharmed.
I got it.
As the thief lay her hand on the treasure, she had a tingling sensation. The thief would soon discover that fate had taken hold of her. Unknown to the thief, a wizard was just waking up. The wizard had taken a look in the spyglass and seen the terrible undead army. He was keen not to die.
By my trousers, I must escape.
He had been studying the stars and trying hard to learn the elusive fireball spell that all wizards ought to know. Of course, that was a lie. For you see, the wizard had a certain reputation with the ladies. What he had really been up to was the creation of a fake fireball potion that would have impressed the ladies and improved his status. The potion had backfired, causing a fortnight of sleep.
Not much to say about this game right now. The idea here is that the Trine is going to combine these three. Well, right now there's 2 heroes, but there will be a 3rd hero who's introduced, each with a unique power. So the thief can grapple. The wizard is able to manipulate objects and also create squares like this. Alright, well, that is an easy answer. So yeah, this wizard has, levitation and the ability to create these boxes. Oh, you know what? Why am I doing it complicated? There we go. Oh, come on. I'm also apparently not good at wizarding. Okay, you know what? It's just easier to make new ones. And then there's going to be a knight. And basically the object of this game is going to be...
The wizard saw a glimmering light coming from the shrine. No one had been able to visit it for centuries because of the ancient magic protecting whatever lay inside.
My darling, why the painful look on such a pretty face? What is this object you're holding on to? How did you get here?
The wizard touched the thief's hand, and then the object. His hand got stuck.
What kind of trickery is this?
For once, the wizard was more interested in magic than anything else. He was also afraid for his dear life. But there was someone nearby who welcomed a challenge. At the other end of the Astral Academy, a knight had been practicing his own skills to battle the undead and prove himself worthy of joining the king's army. Between me and you, he did not quite understand what undead meant, but this was his chance to be the bravest knight of all. The knight felt it was his duty to protect the Astral Academy during this time of despair. He was on the lookout for anything unusual.
So I'm not quite sure how I get this other one. I don't think it's worth the effort, to be honest.
Oh! What's this? Oh! What's going on?
The knight saw a faint light coming from the age-old shrine. Could there be a thief? Was this the knight's day of honor? He had sworn an oath to himself to protect the shrine and the academy. Nothing could stand in his way.
What's going on?
The knight joined in, taking a firm grip of the object's third side, in a way that only a mighty warrior can.
Oh no, this doesn't bode well.
What doesn't bode well?
There was a flash of light, and the wizard, the thief, and the knight simply disappeared. Our new heroes were overwhelmed by the effect of the mysterious object. The wizard tried hard to remember everything he'd learned of the shrine and its artifact. His mind raced through ancient tales and legends. Finally, the wizard remembered. The treasure, the ancient object, was a device that could bind souls together. How it worked, he did not know. But he knew that it was connected to the legend of the Guardian, whose earthly remains had been buried in the catacombs deep underneath the Astral Academy. The tomb resided right below the shrine. The wizard could not explain it, but he was sure the object was called the Trine. The knight didn't care. A more pressing concern was on his mind.
It's all her fault. We must take her into custody. She stole the king's treasure!
Did you not understand a word I said? It is not treasure, it's an ancient object, the Trine. I believe it has bound our souls. We are stuck together.
But she...
The thief remained silent. She was waiting for the right moment to escape, hopefully with the treasure and without the pair of fools.
I think I know how we can use the device as we like.
So that's the main mechanic of this game, is if you're not going to play with a partner, you can basically use the Trine to go between the three different heroes. I believe it's set up so that you should be able to get through any challenge with any hero, but there are definitely some who are better suited than others.
Haha! They don't scare me! On guard!
Yeah, didn't need to take damage there, that was
What have I
me
got
being
myself
careless.
into? We have to find a way to reverse the spell, to undo the magic. The Tomb of the Guardian in the catacombs may have the answer, and it's not far away.
Added this. There, if I remember correctly, there was a double jump that, yeah. So as you can kind of see, you switch between the characters and basically use their strengths to your advantage to get through things. Unfortunately, I apparently am incapable of actually controlling any of these guys. But, I don't know, it's fun. Also decidedly more innocent than Gods Will Be Watching, so... This looks like a wizard job. The knight is not the only one who can do like some kind of combat, but he's definitely the most simple. He's also the only one with a block, so... That could have turned out bad. That did turn out bad. Okay. Yeah, I only have power for one. Sorry, I just heard something outside the apartment.
Oh, that's just great.
That was dumb. What am I doing? It's not a square. There we go. That was reckless. So now I've got a bit of a problem. I think I could just make a bridge though. Apparently not. So the thief is definitely the ideal one for movement, but sadly I invalidated her as an option by standing on the spikes. Oops, didn't see him there. Sometimes just flailing around like an idiot will take you through the day. Okay, so probably somebody lightweight is better suited for this. So here's a pretty good example of one where different heroes are going to give you some different advantages. You'd think that the shield is probably the best way to answer this particular problem, but if I consider the thief, not a problem anymore. And now I go back. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that before. Don't actually know what I'm supposed to do with this. Oh, too close. Very inelegant way of getting across, but it did the trick, so. I think those are spikes, yeah. Careless there. But again, this is a light-hearted game, so I can afford to be a little bit more careless than other ones. I also apologize for not giving a little bit more commentary on this game. I'm going to as soon as I figure out an appropriate noise level. I did hear someone outside my apartment. Now, I don't believe they were addressing me, but I do want to keep conscious of the fact that it's fairly late, and I don't know how well the sound protection is in between the apartments, so... I'm definitely committed to giving the best stream that I can for you guys, but not at the expense of, let's say, you know, disturbing somebody else's sleep. That is not something you want to take smacking in your face. Problem? At least it's swashbuckling. I don't know why I'm trying to aim headshots on the undead. I'm not entirely sure that a skeleton feels any more damage when it takes an arrow to the face. probably was very foolish of me to assume that there would be wood there again. One thing I like about this game is a very nice looking one. I do enjoy, 2D side-scrollers like this. I mean, it brings you back to kind of Mario Brothers style games. I'm really reckless with this hero. Like, learning discipline with distance on the thief might be better. But yeah, so it's a fairly simple set of mechanics. It has this nice little bit of novelty with the play through 3 heroes at once thing. But it falls into this category of game that I like quite a bit, which is just kind of it's just pure fun. It doesn't try to take itself too seriously. I sometimes think the narration is a little long, personally, but as a whole, I think it's a very nicely crafted game with some occasionally frustrating puzzles. There we go. Are you kidding me? Right. I know the thief is kind of portrayed as being the smarter one, but when I play her, she's just as thick as the other heroes. So I like that I got an achievement for that, but I have no idea what the achievement is actually for. I'm assuming I did something in a way more complicated than it was intended to be, so... down below. Oh, nice. Occasionally, I'm not a complete incompetent. Right, there we go.
What lay ahead of our heroes
So that's
was
kind of the
unknown.
form of the...
They had not seen another man, woman, or child in ages. The undead had transformed everything. They were now surrounded by evil. But our heroes had to press on. They were in search of the tomb. The wizard was sure that it would belong to the founder of the Astral Academy, one of the 3 guardians. If they could find his tomb, perhaps they would find a spell to get them out of the Trine.
Where are we?
We are beneath the Astral Academy. No one has been here for decades.
Aha! My sword shall lead the way! Follow me!
Okay, let's level up. So... Well, I only have one option to level up, so I might as well do that. 2 arrows. Oh. Different costs, right. Okay, well, I can live with that. And I think it makes... So I can definitely... I know there's some abilities that the thief uses that require energy, but right now everything is on the wizard, so I'm just going to put that ring on him. Seriously? Didn't get both? There we go. Oh. Oh well. Found another potion. These give you experience, so those abilities that I had leveled up basically come from collecting enough of those green potions. Well, he's a brave knight, I'll give him that. Chest. Energy gain. So what does that do? Oh! It's definitely another one for the wizard then.
Aha. This looks very nice. Perhaps this journey isn't for nothing. Let's strike a deal. I'll help you find whatever you're looking for, and I get to keep all the jewelry.
That looks very good on you.
Captain Beerheart would not approve of this.
Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best. Not so sure what to do about that one. Well then. Seem to have to jump to actually do anything. Which I like that he gets staggered. You probably could do this without him getting a swing off. Not good. There we go. Oh, it's an ability. So it lets him throw items. It's not as impressive as I was hoping for. Turns out arrows work all the time. Excuse me. Well, at least I got the thing I was looking for. It's not wood. Yikes. I need that health. Yikes. Not a good enough block. Wow. There we go. Use the environment to my advantage. Oh, that sucked. I suspect that was quite a bit more difficult than it was intended to be because I didn't have the knight. Fortunately, he is back. Oh. Okay, perhaps a subtle touch is what we need. crazy about that spike mine. I'm gonna assume that I can't pick those up. Oh, they roll back. Okay. I gotta go through a doorway, so... Oh no. You know what? Not the way to handle those. You're kidding me. Should have adjusted my brightness settings before playing this. Okay, time to run. Oh god. Yeah, I saw that coming. Alright, let's go back to the... Where was the... There was a weight. Yeah, there it is. It's late in the stream, I can't see anything anymore. Pretty sure the wizard does not weigh the same as the warrior. Just a guess. I guess I could try and avoid the trap by jumping over this, but... Oh wait, no, they're already there. Okay, so... I will not be an idiot this time. Cleverly hidden behind the candles. We did it! Like a time for a box. What an unfortunate place for that to go. Alright. I guess I can't stick this into the... No. Well, that wasn't any help. There's that one. Oh, but I have two boxes now, so... Gotta be a way to get this. much as I appreciated interpreting my command as being pick up the object, shield is a little more important in that situation. That was useless. I think I'm gonna run out of energy. I immediately regret my decision. I immediately regret trying to do that more than once. And we are out of magic. Don't believe that experience is worth the trouble. I think I got that the first time I played, but
Look at that! It must be the tomb!
Yes, you are correct. This is the Tomb of the Guardian. It has inscriptions all over it.
As the wizard read the inscriptions, legends of artifacts began to emerge. There had once been 3 guardians, each with an artifact to protect. The Trine was an artifact of the soul and righteousness, and a catalyst for the powers of good that had quietly helped raise young, good-hearted wizards in the Astral Academy. The 2 remaining artifacts were mentioned only briefly. The second artifact, that pertained to mind and power, had been stored in the great castle in the middle of the kingdom. The wizard did not yet understand everything the inscription said, because some pieces were clearly missing. But it was enough. Their destination was the castle, home of the second artifact. Ominous sounds echoed in the distance. A vast wasteland lay between our heroes and the castle. The Dragon Graveyard. Alright,
I notice it's about 6 minutes until I'm due for another break, so I think before I start this level, I'm just going to... I'm going to take my break now, and that way I can just do the level on its own. Thank everybody for watching. Again, I notice we still have some viewers, even though it is very late on a Saturday night. Just a reminder, this is part of the Extra Life 24-hour gaming challenge. I started at 8:30 yesterday morning, so we still have about 6 hours left in the broadcast. But this broadcast is in support of the BC Children's Hospital. All proceeds at the website linked below. Also in the channel's descriptions. We'll go to the BC Children's Hospital. My recommended donation is $24, $1 for each hour of the stream. However, I am asking that anybody who's signed in, anybody who's enjoyed the stream, anybody who wants to support the charity, even donating $1, people have been remarkably generous, paying basically what it would cost to subscribe on any better channel to put towards the BC Children's Hospital. So if you can contribute anything, that would be absolutely wonderful. You can do so at the link listed either below the game or at the Extra Life link below. I will try to put a little bit more commentary in the game because it seems like things have quieted down in the apartment here. But before that, I need to take a minute to get up, stretch, just refill my water. I'd encourage you guys to do the same. Take care of yourselves, and we will be back in around 3 minutes. Thanks for watching. thank you everyone for pausing and waiting. I think we are ready to continue with Trine.
It all makes sense now. Our souls are entwined in this artifact, and our physical beings are mere images of our soul.
I'm getting hungry from all this fighting.
Why don't you listen to me? This is exciting. We must hurry to the castle.
And this is the way. Dragon Graveyard. So instead of small bones, we go where the big ones rest. What will we do if they've come to life?
It's the fastest way to the castle, my darling. Trust me.
So the trick and stuff like this is generally the game will give you the materials that you need to have a fairly clever solution. Most of the solutions I've done so far are pretty inelegant. I'm going to blame partly my sleep deprivation and partly my incompetence at this game. But some examples there, like using a crate to take out the skeletons, is a fairly good example of something that maybe isn't obvious that the game will give you, but is a perfectly valid way of dealing with an otherwise potentially difficult problem. A lot of the damage that I'm taking here is just because I'm taking on several skeletons at once quite needlessly, when there's usually a far more intelligent solution to the problem, like that. Okay, that makes sense. I think that's a good one for the thief as well. Oh no. Not again. I still think this is the best way to go. It's just the experience. Oh, yeah, it's the easy way to get the experience. As with most things in life, it's when I try to be clever that I wind up making an ass of myself. So this is going to cost me 3 to upgrade. I don't have that. I believe I can... Yes, now I can level this up. And... I can't upgrade any of the others. So, not bad, but... Okay, I really want to get this item. That was the spell I was trying to do earlier. Dumb of me. I was given the plank spell for a reason, I just wasn't paying attention. Well, need to be a little more clever than that, I guess. Architect has a weird obsession with spikes. Jesus. Okay. Time to cheat. That's not cheating. Don't hit me in the face. Of course there's a skeleton there. Oh god. Stupid. 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 I accidentally grabbed my Twitch window halfway through that, so... Oh, poison. Oh, okay. See, the thing about this area is because I get my health back from that save point anyway, there's not really a cost to me just man fighting it. I'm not entirely sure that's a bad design thing, because I mean, I'd probably be pretty frustrated with the game if I, you know, had an instant death at a major point, but again, it sort of rewards me for my inelegance sometimes, so that's one of the reasons why I play quite sloppy. Well, I mean, that I'm obviously responsible for my own performance, but I'm given opportunities to be sloppy for sure. And I can never land those. That's not gonna work. Well, at least it's no spikes down there. Some people raining death instead. Yeah, it's covered. Why did I do that? course I go for the greedy option and fail. Potions of that wizard's life. There's got to be a way to stop that. Pretty, but it worked.
Having survived the wasteland of the Dragon Graveyard, our heroes carried on. The wizard delved deeper into the inscriptions about the Guardians. There had once been 3 artifacts. One for the soul and righteousness, one for the mind and power, and one for the body and matter. These immortal objects had been used to balance all good and evil in the world. When everything was in harmony, the artifacts had been given to the 3 Guardians, who had kept them safe for centuries. The Guardians enchanted the artifacts with powerful protective charms that only allowed those with pure intents to come near. Eventually the Guardians passed away, and only the charms remained.
I believe it's because of the Trine that our physical images can be resurrected.
effort. Seriously, I can't just drag those things around? Alright. Not worth it. Probably should have expected that, to be honest. So again, another example of rewarding man mode by being close to the resurrection area. Oops, my bad. The trick to that one is just simply that oxygen is not shared amongst the three heroes. So in that particular case, I was able to abuse the faster fall of the knight, and then use one of the other heroes to bring him back up. I don't think this is the right way to approach this. Well, I don't have any other options, so let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, okay. That was smart. It's really close. So what if I made it maybe just less of a steep slope? Okay, you know what? Just make a new one. Okay, I think I'm still gonna have problems with the boxes. I'm sure there was something very important that I was supposed to watch happen there, but I was too busy getting experience. I remember these giving me trouble in the time I played this on the PC. Definitely very satisfying to hit one with a sword, though. Oh, this is a tricky one. Maybe not when you have this spell. Typical. What am I doing? So close. I think that's a sorcerer item, but let me just see. Yeah. More energy. I mean, in fairness, I usually don't have this hero selected when I pick up energy stuff, but he seems the most likely candidate. Come on. Swim like your life depends on it. Be healed. Okay. So level 2. $4 is really good. What about this one? So if I pay 1, I suspect this is probably going to give me a second plank. Yeah, so the total, I mean, the next level of that is a total of 4 objects, so I'm okay with that. Don't have enough for this, and... Okay, so 5% chance to... Oh, I have that already, so the next level is... Flaming Sword. So if I wait 1 more, I get that, and what is the alternative for Strength of Titans? Interesting. I'm not entirely sure that is better than the Flaming Sword, so I think I'm going to hold off on everything except the Wizard. And, sorry, I'm just going to pause for a second here. I'm actually quite cold, so if you could just give me a minute, I'm going to just put on something a little bit warmer, and we'll be back to finish the rest of the stream. Back in a sec. Alright, thank you very much for waiting. I'm sorry about such a, another delay after having my break. I committed to holding back on the energy drinks and stuff like that until I was deep in. So, I mean, there's about 5.5 hours left in the stream. I'm just going to have my first one now. But it's quite cold, and it's probably best not to have a chilled beverage. It was absolutely pouring when I went to get dinner tonight, so I want to do as much of this time streaming as I can, but not at the cost of health.